Hello, feathers. Today there's a rolling sound of thunder wheeling back and forth over my head. It's ominous and powerful and beautiful. I see faces in the clouds. They form looking down, then they rearrange again to form a new and different face. Your ancestors at this time aren't in the ground. Look up and around you. They have messages for you. Some are kind, some are stern. They are trying to find a way for you to pay attention. History, lessons, mistakes, and triumphs throughout all time and now, as all time is now. You carry all that has been done before and all that will ever be done. But you have to feel it, notice it, and listen. You'll see it in the way you move through the world, in the way you treat others. You'll find it in your interests and the things you despise. You'll feel it in the love of your friends and in the disruption caused by your enemies. It will affect your life in the experiences you have or had with your parents, your siblings, and the rest of your family, here and gone. It's passed on into you, into your coding. It's up to you and only you, whether you pass it on for another generation to carry. Your ancestors hold the key. Ask them to open the door. Ask them to let you see who you are and why. A storm is coming, and home is where you're going to feel it the most. The lunar eclipse wants to illuminate whatever may be trapped. Old beliefs, what needs to be released, the secrets of otherworldly matters that sting your reality. You hold the beauty, the wisdom, but the pain, trauma, guilt, and regret can end with you if you so choose. Allow yourself to break free with the lightning of awakening. The past will be rolled away with the thunder. Cry and cleanse with the rain that follows, and allow yourself to flow in life and spirit. This is what Pisces offers you: healing and release. It's time to let go and live. That's your channeled message today. So, as we're talking about your lineage or your ancestral line, I've pulled some cards for whoever this is intended for today. Somewhere in your lineage, you were an animal guardian. You trusted your instincts. You spoke the language of the animals and of the nature around you. The birds brought you messages. The deer and the more shy creatures trusted you, and the most powerful creatures respected you, and you were friends with them. You gained much knowledge from these creatures of nature, as we are nature, and you blended in and were welcomed by them. And you also were a magic guardian, and you were able to unlock the ancient knowledge and wisdom from within, and you held the coding for that, and you were very much in tune with it. And people came to you for to help them unlock theirs, to help them see the truth of their power and their abilities, and to give the people back their power from whatever was holding them back, whatever was oppressing them. Magic is all around you even now. Whether you've tapped into it or not, this is something that lives inside of you and that you can utilize and realize when you are still and when you become connected. This is something that your ancestors want you to know. You're also a sage. You were devoted and committed to the wisdom through the ages. You were quite alone at that time, but you knew the frequencies of nature, of the universe, and you could feel them move within you, and you could attune to them. You wrote and kept track, like records of the wisdom and wise words, and you welcomed people if they needed to come to you for advice and for wisdom when they were troubled. And all three of these past lives or ancestors from long before are living within you now. So, and a lot of this has to do with the ever-growing, long ago rooted nature within yourself, your instincts, what wisdom has been bestowed upon you. And this is what your ancestors want you to tap into and to remember. So if you're feeling a little disconnected at this time, ivy, like the plant ivy, might mean something to you. It grows strong even when it's cut back. It grows anywhere in any situation. It's very hardy, and it's always green. If parts of it die away, it replenishes itself with new life easily. So if you don't have ivy, or you're interested, I invite you to maybe get some for in the house. Be careful planting them outside because it is very resilient, and it can take over. But that just proves that what's coded inside you, what's your right, like your birthright, and what's born through the lines of good will never die. It's there, and it's very resilient. In the present, you are ready to find the truth. We've got shield maiden here, make plans and focus. I think just feeling scattered or trying to sift through your lineage, sift through your past, maybe even delving into sifting through past lives. I feel at this time you feel young, maybe not in mind and body, but young on your journey. But I think that you are determined to find the truth and cut out the crap, for lack of a better word. Cut out anything that is distraction. Your shield is not for war at this time. Your shield is to just, I think, protect yourself from lies and just protect yourself from things that don't serve you. I think you're really focused on finding the truth of yourself. You are wise at this time, and like I was saying, the birds are still here with you. Feathers might mean something to you. They certainly do to me. Birds are a huge, especially the crows and the ravens for me, but all birds really are very important to me. They are messengers. So if you find feathers in your travels, lately, recently, ever, or in the near future, these are messages. These mean that you're on the right track, and this is your confirmation of this journey. They are wise, and they're trying to bring you messages of, so that you can remember how wise you are. So this is about growing within the situation that you're in. Again, like the ivy, no matter what situation you're in, grow within it and out of it, So try to flourish, even if it's not a great situation. Try to flourish on the inside within it so that you can outgrow it. And look for feathers for your messages, and sit outside. If you see some birds, just sit outside and watch. Watch how they fly. Watch which ones you tend to be drawn to, and they might provide you with some insight. Here we have the raven showing up, and owls. Actually, there's a few owls in your reading, so owls or ravens might mean something to you, as well as the eagle. And you are a seer, whether you know that or whether you believe that or not. So our reality can be blinding. It can lie to us, but you can see beyond that, or you can, even if you don't feel like you can right now. So this is being able to see beyond your current circumstance, see beyond the situation. This is using your third eye. This is using your intuition. This is using those little nudges and these little, feelings that, a little buzzing in your ear, a little gut feeling to go this way, seeing a vision for your future that might be different than what people would assume, is the future for you. Possibly seeing a different path than you're walking now. But you have very strong intuition, and you have a strong ability to see. So some of you might be clairvoyant, and if you're not, you might be able to develop these senses. In your future, you are a traveler. So at this point, you've moved in that different direction. You've outgrown the situation by learning from it, flourishing from it. You've found a direction that you focused on, possibly, and you've made a plan to be a seeker of more, maybe go down a path. This is you feeling bright and more confident and like looking forward to that journey in this new direction. And you're going to be welcomed, by... You're going to be... Sorry, that was my daughter. You're going to be welcomed by just new people that you're going to interact with. You're going to have very new experiences than you're used to, meet new people, and you're going to feel a lot more at home, even though you're on a journey. My daughter had come out and asked for her grandma, so this is the lineage as well. Your mother, if you have children, possibly your daughters, this feels very much like the maternal line, whether they're healthy influences or not. We can again learn through the current situation. A lot of things we need to release from our mothers, as well as take the things that were important and some of the wisdom out of the good or the bad, and like some of the struggles that they went through, and their mother's mother, and down the line, ancestors known and unknown, which is what we were talking about in the channeled message. Is you have a choice what carries on with you on your travels, and what you want to leave behind, what you want to pass on. Even in your travels, you're going to be like dropping seeds with anybody that you come across, any land that you touch, any experience that you have. Those, parts of you will stay there forever, right? They will affect the future of wherever they are planted. So taking, not responsibility, yes, but taking notice of how you interact through your journey, how you feel, the words you say, bringing any of those into this reality or into life will affect the future forever. That's an energy that will ripple out, right? Also in the future, again, it looks like the owl, maybe not instead of bringing you messages, but now the owl works with you as a seer. This card is the Witch, be the light. And again, there's ivy, and there's also butterflies. Actually, it looks like a giant moth, which is an amazing creature. If you see moths around, that could be a clarification, or owls. They also transform. They're attracted to the light, and they move a lot more in the night. They're not afraid of the dark. That's not why they go to the light, but they are, the light's like a magnet to them. But as they seek the light, they have to be careful not to become obsessed with it, right? They need to learn from it and respect it, but also go back into the dark. So as we all do, we want to avoid forms of escapism, too much light, and also not hide in the dark all the time. We need to keep moving in between and find that balance. This is you being able to utilize all the knowledge that you've gained, not only from your ancestors, but from your own experiences, to connect with the knowing, the wisdom, and the nature, and being able to start utilizing those energies to create life within your reality, and like be a light for others. Now that doesn't mean you have to help everybody. We don't have to, just because we have felt the light or seen the light doesn't mean we have to go around saving the world. But when you can stand in your own light, shining from within the light of your authentic self, then you will affect not only your surroundings and not only the path that you walk or the places you go or with the words you speak, but also that light ripples out infinitely. So you're creating a beacon for others to see and feel and possibly even follow. You've got drum, dream, and journey. So at this time you want to pay attention to your dreams, but also dream, like what are your dreams? It's like daydream. Drums are rhythms of nature. So maybe you like drums. I don't know. Are you a drummer? Maybe you like music. Anything with a beat. Do you find yourself tapping, your fingers when you're not kind of even aware of it, when you're just sort of sitting and thinking? Or tapping your pen, tapping that kind of stuff. You're trying to find your rhythm, and you're trying to sync your rhythm with your surroundings and with nature. This isn't necessarily with other people. This is more of a syncing yourself as on your own with the surroundings, with nature, with the organic, the organicness of your path. So, go out into go out and sit by a tree and, do a little drumming, even if you're just, tapping on your leg, or you're, thinking of drums or singing. Music is a universal language, and it's the language of the universe. So finding that frequency and finding that rhythm will really help you fall into your step on your journey, and feel like you're making, you're treading along, you're making your path one step at a time through this rhythm, instead of feeling like you're kind of speeding up and then slowing down and then dead stop going backwards. This is just, a nice steady rhythm forwards and forward towards your dreams too, which is where we want to get to. And even if that changes, you can always move in that new direction and be excited about a new adventure. This doesn't have to be, dedicate yourself to one direction for the rest of your life, no matter what happens. Feel free to change and adapt. Remember that ivy can grow anywhere, and it's very, very versatile and adaptable. So in the next column, it's in order to get there, or something that will help you along the way, or something to think about, or something that maybe of a way that could help you, or a way that you could help others. You've got protection guardian. And this is really important. This is drop your shields. So now, I mean, from the shield maiden, where we've got our shield up, but not for war, just for discernment and like, you know, sort of trying to block out lies or untruths or noise. Now that you've found your light and you're in rhythm, and also even if you haven't, once you're on this path, you want to drop your shields. So this is like ancestrally, this is your defense mechanisms and your, you know, the stuff you do without knowing it from like past traumas or ancestral line. This is your auto response to, you know, something that is not maybe harmful. You have to have your own discernment, but it's something you kind of, I've always done this is the way I am, you know, but there's no like reason for it, or it doesn't serve you any longer. So this is about dropping your shields, knowing that you're protected. And this will help you see. This will help you like have some guidance and answers coming in. This is you looking straight ahead, being able to look people in the eye and not out of being like challenging somebody, like this is me, you know, this is who I am and you have to accept me. This is more of just a feeling of very calm confidence. And one sec. That was my little one again. So again, bringing in, what am I like passing on? Where does the line stop? Where does the trauma stop, right? We all have traumas. We all deal with traumas of one sort or another, and some of them are passed down. Which ones are yours? Which ones are passed down? Which ones like are passed down that you don't even know where they came from? And also, what's your knee-jerk reaction to things? And do you want to pass those on? That's a responsibility that only you can decide what you want to pass on. But just, again, remembering, that was just a little reminder that every word we say, everybody that we come across, you know, every decision we make, every place we visit, we're bringing that stuff along. What do we want to pass on? You have Druid here, and this is holding the space. This is being still. Again, more ivy. So this is growth without chasing after it. This is holding this space for yourself to allow in the healing, the information, the wisdom, possibly holding space for others. This is when you found your feathers. This is another feather card where feathers can be important, maybe as part of ritual, as messages. What messages have I received? What have I picked up along the way? What are the new adventures I've had? That was my little one again, and my husband that came out. So as much as the distraction or the interruption, I guess, was a bit frustrating, I had to take a breath. This just might be a side message for somebody, that real life, you know, happens, and we have to just, you know, be patient and give time to our loved ones. That's really important. Sometimes over our work, but also to be able to continue the work after a distraction. So distractions are tough. That's like on your path, you're going to have distractions. I was just thinking about that today. Walking that middle path, and just, we're going to wander off of it a little bit, but making sure that we, venture back to the main path and not go off on a direction that's not going to get us to our goal, but taking time along the way to smell the flowers, right? And pick up the feathers. That's what we were talking about, feathers. So these feathers that you can hold now were the messages that served you, the messages you listened to. Maybe you can carry them with you. So the Druid has feathers tied to his staff of wisdom. He's an elder, he's trusted to share the wisdom and hold the space. And he's confident in his knowings. He's brought his wisdom along with him. His surroundings flourish, but he's not arrogant. in the holding of space, he knows that he knows enough that he doesn't know it all. And we always say that, right? Like, the smarter you get, the more you realize you don't know. So although he's an elder, he still has a childlike wonder of the world and how it works and the universe and spirit. But he's willing to pass on knowledge to anybody who seeks the wisdom and is ready to hear it, because he carries it with him. And also knowing that he can look back on the wisdom and the importance of the experiences that he's had. And he, she, doesn't matter the gender, obviously. And the last thing that might help you is the direction guardian. So we've had, back when we were when we're going to be the traveler in the future, that's moving in a new direction. The direction guardian asks you to choose a path. And here the lion strength might have some significance to you, or Leo, might be a Leo, Taurus, the bull, that's like, it goes kind of in a different direction. So we've got, the sun, the self, the earth, and we've got the eagle, and we've got the angel. So there's different directions, different options you can choose. None are wrong, none are right. This is about the choice. And again, you don't have to choose forever. You just have to choose now, something to focus on, go in that direction, to learn, to give yourself a path. And that path can change at any time, as long as it's, again, avoiding distractions, not changing a path for someone else, or following somebody else's path. You can walk along their path with them for a while if they need a help, but make sure you know your way back. Don't get so lost, or try to avoid getting so lost that you can't find why you were going down your own path to begin with. So the direction guardian will kind of light up all your options, and then pick one and start down it. And then, if you choose to change your path, then and go into a different direction, that's fine. As a traveler, you can do that, of course, right? A different interest, but try to follow through long enough, is the advice, to stay on that path, to see why you started that path to begin with, right? It's finding that little bit of wisdom, finding those messages, gaining that experience, and finding out why you started out on that path to begin with is important. Because if we constantly change our path, because we're either distracted or bored, or something pulls us to the side, or somebody needs us here, somebody needs us there, of course we want to be helpful, and we want to serve, be of service to others, our loved ones, family, friends, even strangers, helping. But you don't have to give it all away. Don't give up your path completely. Otherwise, you'll never know what's not at the end. We never get to the end, but what is down that road. When you know what's down that road, and then you decide, okay, that's not quite for me, I'm going to go this direction, then that's your new path, new direction. And how is this new direction serving my purpose? What's not at the end of it, because there's no end to it, but what am I gaining along this way that will lead me to, the next fork in the road, where I choose again which way I want to go. And this is your ancestors wanting you to know that they're giving you keys. There's, and they're guiding you. They'd really like you to know that you don't have to carry on a path that they were on, if it was one that was that they've already learned was harmful, or suffering, and that you don't have to pass that along. This is for people that want to go on this journey of self-discovery, of lineage, of where does the traumas stop? Do they stop with me? What do I want to pass on? What do I want to carry, right? Because even though some of the stuff has been instilled in you, even if you're not aware of some of it. It can stop with you, but you also don't have to continue carrying it. You can release it. And this is the hardest part, right? Is dropping your shields, surrendering, growing within that circumstance, and taking the wisdom of that forward, unlocking some more mysteries and messages along the way from the ancestors, because they're trying to guide you. They're trying to guide you to your true self, your true purpose. And again, you affect your line backwards and forwards. So whatever you decide to leave on your path, and whatever you decide to leave on your path is up to you. And again, I don't know if you heard Mama, my daughter, she's 11, and she just wanted to show me this picture that my mom kind of took and accidentally filtered or edited, and it made her look like she had a beautiful braid and a beautiful dress on, but it put this like vintage, it made her look like she was like from the Victorian era, which is just interesting with this reading. It's like our past lives are even in our children, right? So this kind of sepia filter and it was her, but it was, kind of edited with this filter to make it look like it was from a long time ago. So that's an interesting confirmation. And again, it's tough, right? I'm trying to get through this reading. Well, I'm not trying to get through it, but I'm trying to, read it. And, when you're on the phone and like nobody's talked to you all day, but you're on the phone and just you constantly, get people trying to talk to you. That's a little bit what it's like in my house when I'm trying to do readings. But, I just needed to take a minute and look, and then it gave me this message of, wow, my daughter looks like she's in an old picture, like much older than I am, and how I guess the past, present, and future are all happening at the same time, and that we can affect all of that. We can affect the past, present, and the future, and that our lineage is alive, and we have to filter through what serves us, what doesn't serve us, what we would like to pass on and what we wouldn't like to pass on, what we would like to carry and what we'd like to release. And so, instead of saying, get out of here, I'm trying to do something, I'm busy, which is instilling, that's in of itself, it's instilling that, I don't have time for her. There's something else that's more important. And obviously we have to work sometimes, or we're doing something sometimes, and sometimes we have to say, can you hang on, or I'll talk to you later, or whatever. But she's bringing me messages as I'm speaking. This is spirit working through the things in our lives. So sometimes things feel like, a distraction, or you can't get you can't get going on, whatever path. But sometimes the detours or the distractions are the messages. So that's why we have to have the discernment. And that's the soft shield, not the, shield to go to war, but the soft shield of, taking a minute. Is this serving me? Should I, and paying attention to your surroundings and from people, like, or just little synchronicities, right? Synchronicities are so important to pay attention to, because that's where I get, a lot of my messages and channeling. And they're right there by me taking a second and paying attention to my daughter. She gave me a message from Spirit saying the past, present, and the future lives within her, even though I'm her mother. So that is a key point to this reading, is that what you carry with you is a choice, and to release the rest, and that everything's happening at once. So the message from your ancestors is they're there for you to pass on this knowledge. They're there for you to guide you along your path, and to instill this wisdom, and to encourage you to find your own. What do you want to carry with you? What path do you want to choose for now? You don't have to know where you're going. especially with this eclipse season. You're releasing toxic traits of lineage, and you're going to take one step at a time, because that might be all that's illuminated. One step at a time, look around, right? What's the next step? Okay, now I'm here. Look around. Feel it, be in the stillness. Pay attention to the buzzing in your ears, or the butterfly going by, or the birds around, or the feathers you see. That's all spirit, your ancestors. It's not going to be loud. Well, most of the time. Sometimes it can be shocking and jar you in a different direction, but often that is, if you haven't been paying attention, or if you've just sort of been flailing around. But sometimes it's like, hey, no, you can't be there, and we're just changing your life, but it's going to be for your greater good. Sometimes it's hard. This eclipse season is very strong. It's challenging to go through. It's heavy and deep and emotional. It's in Pisces, obviously, and then with the Virgo eclipse coming up, I think this is going to be, through all this release, now in this in-between is the time to do this. Release, open yourself up, be still, take some time to yourself, be discerning, answer some of these questions that were in this reading, and then the solar eclipse is going to light up a path for you. And again, maybe a few. You're gonna always have choices, but it's going to illuminate something that you need to know. So be in the present. Let go of the past. Let go of the future that is unwritten, that you have already written. Does that make sense? This future that you've already tried to write for yourself. This time we're not supposed to really know that. It's surrendering the outcome. It's releasing the stuff that we don't want to carry with us, or the stuff that we don't want to leave behind on our trail. Burn it. Take everything that you don't want, and write a letter to yourself, write a letter to your ancestors. Just write in general. Writing right now, I feel, is just this channel from your higher self to you through your pen or your keyboard. Just writing is so illuminating. You can start with a simple thought that came to you, or a journal prompt, or a card, or something somebody says, and all of a sudden you've got this wealth of information coming through that you didn't even know was inside of you. I believe that that's our ancestors trying to guide us into this new world, into this new path. So I wish you the best on your path, and this is the time in between the eclipses to really just be okay, thrive in this situation, be okay with the uncomfortableness that we don't know what's happening, and we don't know where we're going, and that everything feels a bit lost right now. It's a good time to release, and the solar eclipse will bring news. And remember that this is going to light the way for the next 6 months to a year. This isn't all going to happen at once. So look for the light. Look for what lights you up. Look for a path that brings you joy. And be discerning of your auto reactions that don't feel good. And be willing to be still for a minute, and maybe make the choice to release those, and not carry them forward with you. Sometimes storms can be beautiful. I love storms. So yeah, if you get any thunder or lightning in the sky or in your life, try to know that you are protected. Nobody wants their whole life shifted or turned on a 180, or have everything blown away or destroyed, but there is usually peace and light and a beautiful stillness that comes after a big storm, and it usually brings a freshness and a newness and a new perspective, and it's helpful to see what's left over, and also what's new, and what we can start with. So just remember always that you are love and you are loved. And take care of yourself.